Where did the Beatles get their name?
Could you answer one question for me? I may be a little square. I don't know what Beatles means.
It just means us. Well, you've seen those little crawly things, haven't you? Yes. Oh, we're big crawly things.
The Beatles, widely considered one of, if not the greatest pop group in the world, came to prominence in the early 1960s and would take the world by storm with what became known as Beatlemania. But where did that name come from? There's no 100% agreed upon source, but the first mention of the name, The Beatles, comes from the band's then bass player and John Lennon's art school friend, Stuart Sutcliffe. Stuart and John discussed the different band names and decided they liked the insect wordplay used by Buddy Holly's band, The Crickets. John decided to change the spelling from Beatles with an E to Beatles with an A, reflecting their beat genre of music. Fans of the group didn't like the name The Beatles at first, and throughout the early years, the group took on different formats to the name. Long John and the Silver Beatles, just the Silver Beatles, the Beatles, and the Silver Beats. This is the most logical birth of the name, but throughout the years, there have been more explanations that have come up. George Harrison says the name came from the 1953 Marlon Brando picture The Wild One, which leather jackets and sharp tongue the Beatles mirrored their style after. Finally, John Lennon, writing for a magazine in 1961, said the name came to him in a dream, from a man on a flaming pie. This would later influence Paul McCartney to name his 10th solo album, Flaming Pie. So there you have it. Whether it be a man on a flaming pie or two schoolboys trying to copy their favorite musical group, the Beatles remain one of the most iconic bands and one of the most iconic band names in history.